think
Hi.
I think that did it. I think we're live.
No, we are live. I pulled it up and then I typed in the chat just
Okay.
hello dears. Well, I always drop the H for some reason. I don't know where I got that, but hello dears. But I just ended up typing the chat to let people know, like, we are here. We started talking about everything, like getting our nails done, dyeing our hair, and how much we miss it.
My computer was like frozen for a second, so I was like, I don't know if it happened or not. Hi. But good morning. It's episode 41.
Yes. So since I've gotten better at planning everything out of the book, I got episode 41 done, ready, because I set aside which ones are live. And then I'm written up to episode 45. 44 is the next live of next week. But I'm written up to 45, and then I did 76 and 77 because that's for March after Flash Fiction February. And I've got it mapped out for all the prompts for Flash Fiction February. I'm telling you right now, everybody, I am not doing a video per story for Flash Fiction February. Just it's going to be like, I don't even know if I'm going to read all of them live either.
That's valid.
Yeah, I don't know. I got to figure that out.
People can come to your Ko-fi if they want to see all of them.
Yeah, true. I did post 42 and 43 last night on Ko-fi. And that is for anybody, one-time supporters or monthly supporters get the stories in written form before they even go live on my page.
Love it. Love it. Hi, Devin. Good morning. I'm Maggie, Carrie, Natalie. Hi. How are you?
Doing great.
Cool gamer.
My kid slept till 8 this morning, and that was fabulous. Oh, and he's finally he learned he can open his own door.
Oh, this is big.
Yes. And he now has opened the master bedroom door to come in too. I had to shout through the door of hey, you can open it. And of course my dog's like, "Rrr," and I'm like, shut up, you love him. Wait for him to come in. And then she was fine. But then he came in and he crawls in bed and he lays there for a little bit, and then I make him go potty and stuff. But the great part is that now I need to go on Amazon and find that little clock that has a nighttime and daytime thing to it. Mm-hmm. So not a full clock, but it so that I can show him, don't get out of your room until you see the daytime.
Oh, that's a good idea.
One morning he woke up at 6 and I'm like, this isn't going to work, buddy. Anything before 7:30, don't come out unless you're sick.
No. I woke up this morning and I'd let Piper up on the bed. First of all, because it was cold last night. And second of all, she was just being a really good girl,
Aw.
So she was curled up next to me. We were back to back. And so I woke up this morning and I was talking to her. And she starts rolling around, scratching her face, this one and this one. And I'm still half asleep. So I'm just oh, she's so cute. And then she starts wiggling and I'm like, oh no. But before I could say anything, she fell off the bed.
Oh, bless her.
And she realized how in midair that she was falling, and she
I'm sure her eyes got big the saucers, and
then she hopped up and she's like, no, I'm good. I'm like, come on. She gets back up on the bed and goes to the middle of the bed. She's like, you're not gonna get me again.
Animals have such a recovery, they'll they go they look around for a second, get their bearings, they're like, okay, whatever, and then they go back about their day. We trip over something, we're inspecting the sidewalk, did anybody else see that? That's not just me walking, right?
No, she definitely was like, I'm good, I'm fine, but you can tell she was a little embarrassed. I was like, poor baby.
Who else we got? We got Cool Gamer. I don't think I've seen Cool Gamer before.
I don't think so. Hello and welcome.
Hello, welcome. Cat Leo and Isabella. And Jennifer Brown.
Hello. It is Saturday morning, the 22nd. Would you look at the time? And we're back for another episode. Oh, Natalie, you should introduce yourself.
Oh, yes. I'm Natalie Locke. I write flash fiction even on my own, not with Chandra. But post 2 videos a week outside the flash fictions because I have like 200 prompts to get through, which is, I will admit, this flash fiction February idea was kind of a combination. I don't know which of our ideas first, but I know I latched on it real quick because that helps me get closer to getting through all 200 prompts.
Yes.
But this book has been great, and I've adored it. And it's definitely helped my creative writing process. Like, the fact that I was actually able to write a, what is it called? Like a New York gang type story.
Oh, yeah, that one was so good.
I enjoyed that one. And then I wrote a thriller a little bit, like actually 2 thrillers, because one of the episode that's going to air Wednesday is called A Police Investigation. And remember that collab you and I did about a journalist gone too far?
Mm-hmm.
I'm now doing the police side of it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So
I'm excited.
So I made sure to link to your video in that video since you read my story when we did that switcheroo collab.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, now I'm doing the police side of it, and I found it interesting of how that story evolved, and it could potentially become a real deal. What you already said when the journalist gone too far, you were like, I want this to become a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it could be.
That's exciting. I love it. I love it. I think
Fun.
there was something.
Said have fun. Enjoy the gym and the cold. Yeah, well, it's still colder than I want it to be. My husband's leaving for the gym like he always does on the weekends, which is fine. It gives me a few hours. Because actually, we've determined our son, who's 4, acts better when it's just one of us home than both of us. I don't know why.
Kids are weird like that.
But he always acts better when it's just one of us.
I'm just sneaking in here to grab a link to the book because I realized it wasn't in the description.
Oh, yeah.
So...
and luckily, I got smart and finally got a tiny URL link or whatever, and went there, gave the link, and it's Piccadilly Publishing, which, by the way, they have tons of other books. They got 500 drawing prompts. They have complete the story. So if you have ever been in Barrett Laurie's channel when he's done Ghostwriter, and he does a full paragraph prompt, that's what complete the story is, where it's a full paragraph prompt and then you take the story from there. So I found that quite interesting. I haven't gotten that book, but it seems intriguing.
Next up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like it. So
today's prompt?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's me. Even though it was really just me rambling, but that's also me.
It's what we do here.
Yeah. But if you want, I can copy and paste into the private chat.
Oh, yes, please.
The prompt. Where the private chat? Come on, work with me. I don't know why I'm being so precise. Okay, you want me to call it out while you copy paste and all the beautiful things?
Sure.
Okay. The prompt is on Main Street in a small town square. Oh, shoot. I put the quotations in the wrong spot. The words to include are 10 words to include is separate, type, truculent. It's the third word.
Truculent.
That one I'm going to have to look up. I had to look up chartreuse for another prompt before.
So here's the funny thing. I've heard the word before. I know the word. I have no idea what it means.
Yeah, this is where the writing gets fun. I had to look up chartreuse because I thought it was a purplish. Apparently it's more like a lime green. So I had to do that for a prompt before.
Oh, yeah. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It should at least be pink. Like a pinky purple?
No. I typed it up in Google, chartreuse, and it was showing me all these different types of green, and it was a yellow chartreuse, which is more a yellowish lime green, and then it's pretty much lime green.
I object to that definition.
I do too, because to me, it seems like it should be some type of purple, in my opinion. Either way.
Mhm.
All right, truculent, preach, wilderness, panged, facade, I know that one, pawn, and pavement. Those are the 10 words. Now, if this is your first time joining us, we both have different approaches, which proves there's no wrong way to write the story on these words. Chandra likes to keep the words as true as she possibly can. So she doesn't change it to past tense, go from butcher to butched or anything, or botched or anything like that. Whereas me, I will change butcher to butched just because I need it in past tense and I need it as a verb instead of a position, or butchered. That's the correct past tense. Either way. But instead of like a job, I needed it as a verb to make the story work. You can change it however you wish. The main goal is to at least make sure you use all 10 words, but don't worry, there is no police that is going to come knock at your house because you forgot a word. Because let me tell you, I've done it a number of times and I must have gone under the radar if I did. But yeah, I outline usually, sometimes, though on live streams I don't as much. And Chandra doesn't outline, but she edits and I don't, which makes it harder for her when she has to read my stuff. But we'll take 30 minutes to write the story, and then we will trade our stories with each other and take up to 10 minutes, maybe not the full 10 minutes, to read each other's stories. And then we provide critique on them. And we also read the stories out loud to all of you, so you can chime in on your own critique of, yeah, that was echoing, or, or I love that line. That was a beautiful whatever. So that's just Flash Fiction Live in a nutshell.
I was just making little banners that we can use to indicate where we are, because I know that we had people come in last time and be like, which one are we on? What are we doing? So
what's the prompt?
Made some little banners for that. And
Yeah.
that's a good idea. I forgot to do that. Thank you for that reminder. I will
You're welcome, dear.
Put the prompt in a banner as well.
Oh, by the way, I put the quotation. It should be on Main Street in a small town square. I accidentally put the second quotation in between town and square. That's my bad. I apologize. I am human. I would have caught that in editing.
Hey, we're writers, not editors.
Exactly.
All right, so here is the prompt. And we're going to do...
we also had Shannon come in to the chat. Everyone's catching up, seeing how they are doing.
Hello and welcome.
Love this group. Yeah. Oh, chat. Also, you can partake in the writing of the story and email it to myself or Chandra, or email or IG, whichever works for you. We can even provide our email in IG. We just don't like to say it publicly. Well, at least I don't. And, okay, so I'm speaking for both of us now. But yeah, you can DM us on IG, and we will give you our private email if that's what you need. Well, the work email. And to send your story over, just let us know if you are okay with it being read out loud or not.
Yep.
Because we will. But we will provide feedback whether we read it out loud or not.
Yes. And we usually do one per break, just to make sure that we keep it going, because we can stay on here for literally the entire day.
Yeah, and that's when my husband just stands off to the side and taps his foot. And then I have to ask him to be quiet because he's coming up on the microphone.
I love it. It do be like that sometimes. Except for me, it's my dog being like, hey, 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 hey. SD Houston, welcome. How are you? Truculent, eager, or quick.
Bless y'all.
To
saving me
argue or fight, aggressively defiant. I like it.
Okay, so it sounds like a teenager to me.
Valid. It's my job to get us a timer, and I have that because
I actually I'm starting to create a playlist, and I think I have it public. If you go to like all my playlists, not just on the channel, I think I don't have it listed on the channel, but it's me grabbing what is it called, timers from people that I'm fine with. Because ever since I got blocked on for using a Christmas timer, and it said I used copyrighted music, I'm like, fine, I'm going to like vetted timers that I know are good.
Yeah.
And so I got Zara's, Ryder Holly Davis, Laura Needles, and Laura Needles, she's got, whereas Zara and Holly, they both have like just one 10-minute timer, one 30-minute timer. Laura has like a few 10-minute timers.
Yeah, I use a lot of timers from Laura, who also is linked in you. If you go to channels on my channel, Laura is linked there as well. So definitely check those out. We are ready.
Yeah.
I say we jump straight on in to prompt number 1, and we'll begin in 3, 2, and 1.
That was perfect timing.
I was just doing a last tweak. I also realized we only have 9 words.
Oh, yeah, I got all of them. I got 467 words this go around. I didn't, what's the word? Outline.
No, I mean for the prompt.
Oh, for the prompt.
We're missing a word.
We are missing a word?
Yeah, because separate is part of the, it was like the town square, and then we separate, like it was square.
Oh, no, square was a part. Oh my God, square was supposed to be the word. I'm sorry. It's on Main Street in a small town. We're going to pretend it's Monday.
It is Monday. What do you mean?
So square is a word. On Main Street in a small town is a prompt.
Oh, well, so you were right. You just corrected.
I was right. I just doubted myself.
It's okay. It's all right. And then we got, so I still got it then.
Yeah, I got it too because at least my stuff started fine. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. I got to
good.
email this to you though.
Yeah, I'm going to send you this as well. I had fun with this.
I did too. I ended up going a genre that I haven't really done, and I'm blaming when I wrote with Colin.
That's fair.
Because I never wrote fantasy before.
Yeah. I kind of did urban fantasy.
I did too.
Did you? Oh,
yes. All right, where the hell is the email stuff? Come on. Oh, duh. Okay, I'm learning my Mac. So I used to always have email as like a save thing, like a bookmark. And it's been a while, since getting this Mac that I realized, no, I actually have my like own app.
Oh yeah. Yep. Maggie, yeah, Town Square is totally fine. Yeah. Hi there.
No, I used it as Town Square, I think, in my thing. Oh, I did outline. I wrote Town Square and that was it on my outline. And then I just started writing.
That's funny. I really didn't even look at the prompt before. I just was like, oh, what am I doing? Oh no. But then the drafting went really quick and I just was doing editing. So the end might be a little funky because I didn't get to edit that as much.
Yeah, I was actually able to edit. Like I finished and I had like 6 minutes left. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because I was trying to figure out where I was going to stop this. And right when I was about to stop it, I went, nope, this is going to happen because I'm evil.
I love it. Hi, Jabria. Hi, Morgan Lee. Welcome.
Hello.
Also, I think it's funny that in the intro you still say, oh, I don't edit. And then you almost always edit now.
No, and then it's funny. So I do that in my actual videos that I post. So I go, yeah, so I outline 5-10 minutes. I write it down in the story and then I'll type it up afterwards. And then I go, and I can't stop myself because I do edit when I type it up. But it's like small edits. It's not. So I think what I think is editing is on the episode 40 that aired last Wednesday, where I took the critique group live feedback and made a whole new story. Like that to me was editing. I was changing like how things, like I had the premise of the story still, but I changed a lot. That was editing. What I'm usually doing when I edit, reading through is like, I misspelled this, or I like that makes no sense. I need to fix the grammar and stuff.
I feel like this is a conversation that needs to happen of like, what does everyone feel that editing is?
Yeah.
Because I think, most of us, a lot of us, a large, significant number of us feel that editing is the worst. So I want to hear, like, do you actually enjoy some parts of editing? And you just call it other things because editing has a connotation to it.
Actually, I like editing because I feel like it gives me a chance to look at it's kind of what we were talking about before of when you're working on stuff with, whether it's school, whether it's writing or something like that, every now and then you need to look over your shoulder and see where you came from. Like, look how far away the start line is. And that's what I feel like editing is, because then you can be like, this is what I drafted, and here's what it is now. And
yeah. Oh, for sure. And it's funny too. You and I were talking about. I've started back at school, and we were talking a little bit about that. And the first time I went to school, it was my mindset was different. this time, like the classes that I'm taking, they serve multiple purposes for me. And so that does make it easier. But
That's
like
nice.
I know from going before what works for me and what doesn't. And this time, I'm all about how can I make this the most effective for myself, and how can I make use of my past experiences. But in order to do that, I have to like look at everything and evaluate it. So now one of the things that I do that I study, it's really weird. It's probably the weirdest thing, but I take my phone and I pull up everything that I'm supposed to be reading. And I go to the gym and I get on the treadmill and I listen to classical music and I read.
Nice.
I don't know why that works for me, but if I try to read just sitting at my computer or doing anything else, I do not retain any of what I'm reading.
That's actually, yeah, because lately what I've been doing, I've been listening to audiobooks. It's been a while since I've read a physical book, and I'm not getting as much. The only times that I'm actually comprehending the audiobook is when I'm in the shower and I have it playing very loud at 2 times speed because it's me. And or I go to the gym and I'm working out and I'm listening to the audiobook then as well. And for some reason I comprehend it. And I think it's tied to different learning styles. So there's the audible learning style and there's the visual learning style.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the kinetic learning style where your hands need to be busy. You need to be doing something, like not too much. Like obviously I won't be writing a book while I'm listening to a book. Otherwise that would just conflict with the same part of my brain. But there is something to like absent-mindedly doing something kind of methodical that a standard thing and then doing the story. So or listening or whatever.
I completely agree. And I think for me, even like I'll take what I've written and I'll copy and paste it into Google Translate and then have Google Translate read it back to me.
Oh, that's a smart hack because there's so many things of like diction, read out loud, and I'm like, I'm not paying for you. Okay.
Yeah, no, and you can only do small chunks, but you can do like a paragraph or 2 at a time, and it's actually quite good at reading. So I do that for things in my homework. I do that when I'm drafting assignments. I do that with things that I'm Dobby. Oh no, here's your Lord and Master.
Yeah. And there you go, Barrett.
To go away now.
Oh, great. We've just made the call for the other one. You gonna come sit in my lap?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. They're coordinating.
They are.
There's your friend Dobby. See the kitty? Yeah.
Yeah. Please retract claw.
Come on, don't you know Pig Latin? All right.
So yeah, yeah.
Oh wow, we've the chat just like jumped. Dobby, you came back. See, mine came and then went. Like he's fine. Of course, YouTube keeps him entertained. Oh no, he's coming back. But I like what Shannon said. I definitely can see that. I have a lot to do, and I need to switch over editing my Tuesday videos as I don't have my usual Monday to work on it. And this one is long, 17 minutes, but detailed marketing. Hey, we need all the marketing. I feel like there's not a lot of videos out there. Same thing with like my query videos. I feel like my query videos are doing a lot better than I expected. But then I realized when it comes to querying, not a lot of people are as translucent as I am on querying. Like I'm actually reading my rejection letters and stuff and explaining exactly how I prepared my documents and what I looked into. And I think it's because a lot of people are like, oh, I just double check. And it's like, double check what? How was it? Like, and how that's kind of the main reason why I joined YouTube, because I joined YouTube because I saw a lot of people who worked full-time and were writers, or who were full-time moms and were writers. But I didn't see full-time worker and mom and a writer. I was like, all right, I'll be that person. I volunteer as tribute.
I mean, I completely get that, and I'm like now I'm full-time employed,
chips,
full-time working.
Go pick some up. Yeah.
Well,
you're full-time working and school, which to me is like having kids and
I'm trying to figure that out. So
yeah, because the thing is, each week, even though you have a syllabus, each week with school, something new can come up, just like with kids. But there are other aspects. So no one come at me and be like, school's nothing like having kids. Yes, I know. Okay, I will make the same argument that having animals is different than having kids and everything, but it doesn't change the amount of love you have. Though school, there's not much love there, except when you're done. But yeah, it's a struggle.
somebody come get their son.
Barrett, get your savior here.
Ugh. Are we ready to read, Dobby? You don't stop clawing everything.
Yes, because my son had chocolate donuts and now has brought me Cheez-Its. So I'm gonna go get him a bowl.
I like it. I like it.
See, the thing is, I have to get him a bowl because this boy will sometimes like suck the flavor off chips or whatever, and then put it back.
No.
Yeah. So we learned real quick we need a separate container for his stuff.
Also, childless ogre Chandra. It'd be like that.
Listen, Chandra, Dobby's. I will make the argument that your animals are pretty darn close to children, other than the fact that you can like leave and trust them to take care of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But for how much they pester you,
I would
on par.
I would agree with that.
I will give you that as a parent who has fought with people when they're like, "Oh, I love my animals," and I'm like, "Yeah, you can actually put your animal in a cage," whereas I would have like Child Protective Services called on me if I did that. Okay, even though my kids both locked themselves in the dog cage growing up because they thought it was fun and cute, but I was there, and yes, I took a picture. Either way, back to the point.
Wait, Natalie can't leave her kids home alone?
Nope. Well, okay, my daughter can. She's 11, but it's still like not okay. My son, on the other hand, I don't even want him to be in a separate room from me because this boy will get quiet, and we know that's dangerous. Caging is a no-no in some societies.
Oh gosh.
I believe American societies it is deemed not a good thing. Though I have to admit, the older he gets, the more I'm like, y'all remember the Eat Trade Baby commercials? It's hilarious. And I think of him so many times. Hold on, buddy. Because it was funny. The one where he's in the cage, not in the cage, in the crib, and he's like, yeah, I'm in timeout because riding the dog like a horse is frowned upon in this establishment.
Barrett, I feel like we should collab on a shirt that says childless ogre because kids in cages are a no-no.
I think that is great. And I actually feel like society needs to embrace more and give people that, like, oh, you're not going to have kids. Like, it's almost like a taboo and everything. Mm-hmm. I would not trade my kids for anything in the world. I don't know. There could be a dollar amount if I know they're taken care of, maybe. But,
Merca.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that went sideways real fast.
We went there. Okay, let's start the timer. I gotta feed my gremlin, and
we will take this conversation in directions.
Yes, we will.
Okay, let me get this timer up.
Okay,
here.
You want to put me on mute?
Yeah.
Okay, come here, and then I'll get you some food.
I am having this fight with YouTube again, where it's like I don't have autoplay on, and it's like, oh, you don't?
Ooh, I was gonna say I think I have an option to share my screen if you need me to do a counter thing.
I got it.
Timer.
Okay. I just had to wrangle the tube.
Okay, I do have your story. Whew.
We are, wait, I need to be on the other screen. We are ready for sprint number 1.5 in 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Y'all. Yes. Use.
Sweet. I got so much done in that, by the way. You got her away. Good job. So my son had to go to potty. Sorry, this is about to be one of those stories. He had to go potty. The boy is dry. He's good. While he's getting undressed, he peed in his pull-up. And I'm like, okay, fine. But then he sat down and he pooped in the potty. And I'm very happy about that because it's one thing we've been working on. And it's been so difficult. But he did it. And I'm proud of him for it. And then he wanted to go wake up his sister. I got him that snack that he wanted at the beginning of this. And I read your story once.
Yeah.
Wanted to read it twice, but I did read it once. Yeah, that's fine. You can have that.
I have thoughts
Okay.
and feelings.
Yes.
Thoughts and feelings. And feelings about this thought.
Dobby wants to be a part of those feelings.
He is. And there are feelings of... You know that's when he's super needy is when he lets me like give him a big bear hug and he doesn't immediately leave when I let him go. You cannot have that. See, that's why you can't be up here because you don't behave yourself. Get down.
Okay, so 2 things with the chat.
Yes.
First thing, I saw Eva say her son is 4 and she hasn't done yet. Eva, like we've just started really potty training like in the past 2 months and he just turned 4. Like my daughter, I think, was potty trained by age 3. Boys are completely different. My God, everybody warned me and I didn't listen. I was like, no, I'm the exception. I was a fool. And then also when Barrett Laurie said hashtag nailed it, I read it as nail edit. And I was like, what's nail edit? What type of editing is that?
So we are on a roll today.
Okay. Well, do you want to go in the basement and sit?
Barrett said, is that all you got done, Natalie? Jeez, slacking.
Yeah, no kidding. And I'm still handling it now. Okay.
Nail edit.
Here, Zoe's gonna go sit in the basement. All right.
So I have my.
Okay.
I'm just.
If you want to.
I've got my foot up on the chair, and I have one hand resting on the corner of the chair, and Dobby is just compulsively walking back and forth and rubbing his face on my hand, like not just face, but like teeth, and like
wow,
like like he's like, but like aggressively. He's like,
I will love you.
My vet literally called him aggressively affectionate. How do you get down?
It makes me think of like all the times when I was a little kid. It's probably payback anytime with my animals when they're like, oh, stop. Because I'm like, as a kid, I was like, love me. And they're like, get away. Stop dressing me up in your doll clothes. Yeah, I did that with my cats. I was that kid. I mean, I was under the age of 10. Like, I feel like there's certain things that we have to realize is totally a kid thing. And we all did it. It doesn't make it right, I will admit, because if I caught my kids doing that, I would, like, correct them and be like, don't treat animals that way. But at the same time, my cats loved me.
I want to be clear. I have actually knitted Dobby a sweater that he wears on occasion. Does he love it? Not particularly. Does he wear it usually about once a year, just so that he knows that he is loved enough that someone took the time to knit him a sweater and make him wear it because he has a person and he needs to stop. No.
Okay. And then let me know pick up or drop off and everything. But thank you for scheduling it in Saturday morning instead of the evening. Can I? You good?
I'll tell you later because I can figure out time. So
Perfect. Thank you, sweetie.
So, I'm currently blocking Dobby from jumping up here from the front.
You and I are both handling that because like my 11-year-old talks to me and I need to like engage with her, especially because so last night it was a situation because she decided she doesn't get off she gets off the bus late, and then we have dinner shortly after, like because we're old people and we eat early. So she was trying to plan a slumber party with a friend who we never met yet and don't know her parents either. Hey, another use of the Clever Fox planner or the budget planner, whichever one that is.
This is the regular planner. Yeah, I'm using it as a wall of protection against my feline.
But back to the point. So last night she was trying to plan a slumber party, and she finally is trying to finalize. Oh, Dobby,
Ow.
be sweet. Don't bite the hand that feeds you.
That was a
To be
lot of
cliche.
claws. Like, he's looking at me like I did something wrong.
Dude. Okay, so my father used to call like cat scratches. He would call them cat shit injections because cats will in the God, what's it called? Litter box and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's what my dad called it.
You know what is funny? This is not sponsored, but I keep this on my desk. Right next to
hand sanitizer. Nice. Well, and also you're allergic, so you don't want to pet him and then do like what I'm doing right now and scratch your eye or anything.
Pretty much.
Oh, so my daughter was trying to like at 7:00 last night, trying to plan spending the night and coordinating and stuff like that. I was like, kid, no. I was like, you can have tomorrow night or next weekend. By all means, I will drop off. I will pick up, whatever. But please do not try to plan events on the same day, like within hours of it having to start of the slumber party. And I was like, I don't care if you have friends over or anything.
Yeah.
So,
that's a lot.
All right. So I loved your story a lot. Like we always talk about this, but how we take a prompt and then we both did urban fantasy this time, but totally different.
Totally different.
Yeah. And I love it. It's here for it. What's the chat saying?
I feel like I didn't put that in right.
So, parenting seems like a lot. Yeah, it's just the next generation that I'm trying to be better than me. No big deal. I know the number one thing is the one thing that, like, when it comes to the kids, my husband and I agree on them 100%. Never had a problem when it came to our kids. And, like, we don't even have to talk to each other. We just automatically are on the same page there. But what's really funny is one of those things that is most prevalent, and we've made sure to tell our daughter, we're like, don't us ever hear that you were the bully. Okay? Ever. I was like that. I usually don't believe in school giving punishment and you getting punishment at home also, because sometimes some school rules you're like, oh, really?
Yeah.
But we both agree, like, and we told our daughter, we were like, we don't care if you were in a fight with somebody because you were defending someone else who was being bullied. Like, you won't get punished. We'll go get ice cream the day that you're suspended, whatever it is. But if it comes out that you were a bully, absolutely not. Because Alex and I, my husband, we were both bullied in school. Like, and hell, I talked about my sister bullying me when I was younger. I was a bitch to her too, though. So siblings.
I mean, in middle school, I was bullied, but by the time I went to high school, after that, I was like, "You will hate me, and I will love it."
I feed off your hate.
I did. I was just out there. I did okay. I did much better in high school than I did in elementary school. Not that it was a good time, but.
Eva, I'm glad you brought that up. Eva said her and her husband had 17 years to discuss when we have kids. Love it. I got pregnant after a month of dating. So we had 10 months total to talk about this. Like, I remember I was pregnant. We didn't even know the gender yet of our oldest. And we were arguing whether she would buy her first car herself like he did, or if we were going to buy like a cheap car for her if we were financially able to. And we were like, we had a full-on fight about that. And she's in the womb. Like, we're arguing about when she's going to be 16. And we didn't know she at the time. Oh, Helen, actually, right now she identifies as she. But, it's years. I'm in this day and age, I'm trying to keep an open mind that either of my kids could come to me and say, I want this, and like change something. And everything. And I'm just like, it's funny because our parents' generation, they had to prepare if they wanted to, had to prepare if their kids came out as gay or lesbian. And we're having to prepare in case they may come out you know,
a different way,
a different gender, or want to be known as they or them and stuff, which is fine, totally fine.
It's a mindset change. It is.
Yeah.
Hi, Michelle. How are you?
And I feel like I can be okay with it, just as long as hell, I think the one that would be the hardest for me to come up with is if my kid came to me and said they were asexual, just because I keep on in my mind, I'm like, whoever they're with, as long as they treat them good, I'm good. Well, now we got to cut. They're not going to be with somebody.
Not necessarily. Have you watched? There's I have to find a channel and share it. This Ace Dad something. I can't remember his name, but I'll have to find it. But he is a father of 2, and he's Ace, and he's married. But he gives a lot of like background information especially for people who are considering or like, am I Ace? And what that means, because I think there's a lot of misunderstanding around it. I mean, I don't even have that's something that's very hard for me to understand. But I think that's the biggest thing that people are concerned about, even as the world became more accepting and people were like, well, okay, like good, yeah, that's fine, but how do I get grandkids now? And it's like the separate things. The bottom line is you can still have grandkids. However things shake out, the biggest thing in that scenario is, does your kid actually want kids? Start there. Because if they do, they can have kids.
Well, and I even wrote that in one of my stories when I said a life cycle of a parent. And at the very end, I said sometimes people, like, their child grows up and then like the chapters continue, and then other people create another book or something and start new chapters, or I forget what the analogy I gave. And I'm a big proponent, because I don't want anyone, especially being a parent, I don't want anyone who's on the fence of being a parent to feel the society is pressuring them of your golden years. This is when you should have kids. Like, no, science has prevailed pretty well. That we're not tied exactly to a time period. Now, there's still the, menopause where you just can't afterwards. But for the most part, like, society shouldn't control the time frame and everything. I'm actually glad, even though it turned out, I'm glad that I had my daughter early and I was done having kids before I turned 30, because my parents had me later, like in their 30s. So my kids, if I waited until now to start having them, they would potentially not even know their grandparents, just because of age and stuff. And I was lucky enough to remember my grandparents, because the last one died a few years ago, but my first grandparent died when I was like 7, but I at least still remember him out of the 4. So
I mean, my parents were in their mid-30s when they had me. I'm the youngest, and my grandparents, I had both of my grandparents till I was 23 on my dad's side. And on my mom's side, I think I didn't really know my grandmother on my mom's side because she didn't live in the United States. So I met her 3 or 4 times. But I was also an adult. But my grandfather on my mom's side was significantly older than my grandmother. And so I never met him.
Yeah, there's that too. I actually met my great grandmother. Like, my father's mother passed away before her mother did. And that woman, like, she was like 99 or something like that, if I remember correctly. And like, she outlived 3 husbands, 6 of her 13 kids. I forget the full numbers, but it's like, I want to be her.
Yeah.
And she had some crazy strength, because she had this like southern drawl with it, and she's like, come here and hug my neck. And she would pat your back. Like, if you had any congestion in your chest, this woman could knock it out. Just go visit Nanny and let her hug your neck, and she would pat the congestion out.
I went to get a pedicure last night, and this is it's like a very random.
We always do this, but yeah, bring it.
But the guy who was doing my pedicure was like real serious about it. Like he was going to give the very best pedicure that had ever pedicured. And I was kind of like, dude, it's not that serious. But it reminded me, just because of the way he was like doing the thing for my feet, like with the pumice and everything. I was like, when I was a little kid and my grandma, so like you didn't fill up the bathtub to give the baby a bath. You got like the biggest bowl in the house and you filled it up with water.
Yeah.
For some reason, this just reminded me of when my mom was out of the country and my grandma was taking care of me. She filled up this big bowl with water, and it wasn't warm water. It was cold.
Oh.
It was so cold. And she's like, get in there. I'm like, it's cold. She's like, it's good for you. So I get in this bowl of cold water, and she has like the washcloth, and she's like,
oh, like she's like giving you exfoliation.
oh yeah.
All over.
The baby was gonna be clean. Like, it hurts. She's like, it's good for you. For some reason, it just reminded me of that. And hey, get out from under my desk, ma'am. And now I've just been like kind of giggling about that because it's such an odd memory.
It's funny how our memory works. Like you forget about something and you're like sitting getting a pedicure and you go, huh, like I totally just remembered that I forgot about that. And like,
yeah. And I think I was probably 5 at the time.
Yeah.
We should probably go through the stories before we forget.
But the chat was blowing up with everything. And I agree with everything the chat says. Pretty much as long as your child loves. And they don't have to love romantically. There's friends. Mm-hmm. There's different forms of love. And actually, I'm envious of other languages for how they have different names for different types of love. Mm-hmm. But you can love your best friend. You can love your nieces and nephews. You can love your siblings, your parents. Mm-hmm. And then if you do have a partner, love them. And so just because someone chooses to not have a partner doesn't mean they don't have love. And I think that is still very beautiful. And I appreciate the chat bringing that full around.
Yes. Very true. Very true.
Okay. I don't have a coin. I was going to flip and just see who read first.
I have a coin. Heads or tails?
Heads that I'll read.
I have my nails done, so this is difficult. Tails.
Tails. All right. So
I don't know if that was loud, but not bad. Okay.
It wasn't actually that loud, but it did make me laugh.
All right. Here we go. I snuck out of my room in the small bed and breakfast that put me up for the night while my vehicle got fixed. When they checked me in, they told me about all the activities they have after sunset to help it be a less boring stay. That should have been my first clue to stay inside, but I've never been the type to do what I'm told. I walked across Main Street, hearing just crickets as I made my way to Central Square. It was empty compared to 6 hours ago when I came through with the tow truck. The pedestrians had outnumbered the vehicles 4-1. Now it was a poorly lit brick, concrete, and asphalt wilderness. As I made my way to the gazebo in the middle of the square, there were less than 10 lamps lighting the way. One light in the gazebo as a beacon to the wraparound bench, a few in front of the coffee shop, and even one lighting the church sign that said, "Preach to the congregation, not the choir." Once I sat down in the gazebo, I realized the crickets stopped singing. I had stepped into another world, separated by a thin veil. A pang in my stomach gave me unease as I saw the quiet, small-town facade drop in front of my eyes. Every person that was on the street this afternoon was here again, but fixated on a battle instead of daily errands. I ducked to hide myself behind the open slats of the gazebo, forgetting the beacon of light right above me. The townspeople lined Main Street, facing each other as truculent armies. The youngest girl, must have been 14, stepped away from the line from the right. At the same time, another girl from the left flank stepped out. They circled each other as they lowered themselves to the ground, ending with their feet and hands touching. I was so focused on them lowering themselves that I didn't even notice the others in the standoff lowering themselves too. Then I heard it, a mixture of caws, growls, sneers, and screams. It vibrated my chest, but I couldn't take my hands off my ears. I scurried backwards, falling down the steps of the gazebo, knowing I must not be a pawn in this battle. I knew I had to get back to the bed and breakfast. I looked over my shoulder one last time as I sprinted to no longer see humans along Main Street, but the entire food chain of surrounding worlds. But the entire food chain of the surrounding woods. It wasn't until I was back in my room that I started to feel a semblance of safety as I caught my heart and my breath. At last, at least until Hawk and two cardinals started pecking at my window. I have feelings about it. Some of them are confusion.
Get on.
Some of
I can
it,
hear you. I just got to plug up my watch because it was dying.
some of it's confusion. Some of it is that I need there to be more. And part of me feels like you're limited by time and that it needs to be longer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm starting to think 30 minutes. Like, the closest I've gotten was like close to 600 words in a flash.
I think this could be your full 1,000-word flash fiction.
Ooh,
I think it needs that. The feedback that I have is primarily for Dobby. Get away from me.
That's some good feedback for Dobby.
The feedback I have is primarily for the first paragraph. It was a little bit contradictory of itself.
Okay.
I snuck out of my room in the small bed and breakfast. Why are they sneaking out when town people have already told them that there's a lot of activities that they should come join? And if that's the case, then they've invited her. Nobody's telling her to stay inside.
Yeah, I think it's... Yeah,
So,
okay. I got an idea with that.
Instead of staying inside, maybe ignoring their gut or, something like that. That part just was like a little, like, either one of those could be the case, but just redirect so it's not contradictory, or clarify where these instructions are coming from. I don't know, maybe they have spirit guides telling them not to leave the house. It's possible. So yeah, I liked that. When I first read it, I was a little bit confused about the battle, but reading it a second time, the people are fighting and they're turning into other creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I want more around that. I want a little more imagery of how they transform. Like they're facing off, they're palm to palm, foot to foot.
No, I made that change as I was reading it. I said touching and then period. And I was like, oh, crap, I should be saying touching the pavement or something like that because I imagine them all on all fours. But instead of hands and knees, it's their feet and knees, and then they transform.
Yeah,
I see what you mean about like transforming. It's like I kept the sounds, but visually, what's happening?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is clothes being torn, or is clothes part of the transformation? Stuff like that.
Because I don't see what the character sees that makes them stumble backwards off the steps of the gazebo and start running.
Yeah.
Like, what are you seeing that makes you be totally fine with falling downstairs? I need to know.
Yeah.
My favorite line in this as an introduction was, now it was a poorly lit brick, concrete, and asphalt wilderness. I like the visual of it. Like, I knew that this is like a bleak, poorly lit, like it's like crickets. I'm like, I shouldn't be out here. I need to go. I like that visual. So I think that's my favorite line.
Sweet.
But on a whole, I would like I would like more of this story.
I feel like that's the feedback I get a lot is I want more. Like with the last urban fantasy I did with Colin Clark last week, which actually I still need to go through and do the chapters for that. But I want more. Like is the stuff.
Yeah. That's how I feel about it. I want more.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot that you could build out that would give you, I mean, even if you went over and it wasn't a flash fiction anymore, I think that's fine. I think it's got a lot, I mean, because you can describe the bed and breakfast, you could give a little more color to the town and the setting. You could, I mean, yeah, there's a little more comparison and contrast that you can do to when they came to town earlier in the day. You could give a little bit of like of them checking in. What makes it so awkward?
And if I did the check-in scene, that could then be like them going, "Why do I stay inside? Like I'm a night owl. I'm not going to stay inside all night," or something like that. Like where you understand, where I give them reasons of why they would want to go out, and then they're like, "Oh, there's people that are going to be in the parlor playing cards or something. Yeah, I need to sneak out to avoid being grabbed and joined in."
Or even if they're telling you that there's lots of things going on, but like, oh, strangers might not be comfortable here, but you wouldn't know anybody, or like, real bless your heart kind of things to say.
I love it. So I like what Eva said, and this is actually my goal with most of these. She says, "I love the introduction of the small town and found it hard to even notice the required words. But then my mind forgot to pay attention as I'm also working as I listen." That is completely fine. But I feel like the point of these flash fictions is to where the 10 words to include just happen naturally. Where you don't even notice, like, oh, there was words to include. Like, and I can tell you, every time I read your stories, I don't even notice.
Yeah. It can be interesting when you, like, once you get into the flow of it, how it doesn't, like, it stops tripping you up the same way.
Yes. So I've been enjoying these flashes a lot, and I like that I'm going into other genres that I haven't experienced yet. But apparently urban fantasy I'm doing okay in. I just need more.
Yeah.
We just need more.
Yep. I second that.
Actually, this isn't the first, even the urban fantasy with Colin, these are the first time I've done like shapeshifters. Mm-hmm. The one with Colin and then this one. But in the episode, might be number 18. I don't know, I got the book here. Where it was magic in New Orleans was the prompt. Where is it? Yeah, number 16. Magic interferes in New Orleans. That was there was magic going on, like witchy type stuff going on as this person visited. So that was fun.
Yeah.
So maybe I need to just realize like what's fantasy and what's not. Give myself a break.
Have you read Sunshine?
Mm-mm.
It is it's my favorite urban fantasy. Wow, I can't say words. Urban fantasy. 10 out of 10 would recommend. It's just so good. Definitely. If you're like considering like writing more urban fantasy, you need to read Sunshine.
I gotta finish this Parallel Universes sci-fi edit, but I gotta download Scrivener on this Mac before I do that. And then I also need to wait, hold on. My kids are quiet. Let me check.
Alarm. I feel like this is from The Incredibles when they're like going into Incrediboy's lair and the alarm goes off, but it's like just in your mind.
Well, and then like right now, I'll just
let us see.
She said no. But when I said, are you good? She was like, nope.
Well, that's funny. I
All right.
Sorry,
All
my
good.
brain just deleted itself.
The door shut down there. That's why my daughter didn't hear me. And when I said, hey, are y'all alive? She went, nope. My oldest did. And I was like, you good? She's like, nope.
Thanks, I'm a stress.
All right. Maggie, did you get that Maggie sent you?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. All right. I will jump over. What do I have? We'll jump over.
I'm going to send the link now.
I'm going to jump over and read yours while we're coordinating stuff. Okay. Ready?
Yes.
All right. I race over the pavement on Main Street in a small town square. A small town makes it sound so distant. It's my town. Or it used to be my town. Anyway, I used to live here. It's also where I died. Now it's just my haunting grounds. I race past the truculent old men seated in front of the general store. They grunt and ask, where are you going, little lady? I don't answer. The whole town seems to wear a facade that screams, this is what I've always been and this is what I will always be. I know I have to go. Nothing can save these people or this place. I run for the wilderness. A pang of remorse curdles in my stomach, but I push harder. I have to separate myself from this place before it's too late. My soul is tethered here, and if I don't make it far enough to sever that connection, I'll go down with the general store old men and everyone else. Even if it's only imagined, I can hear the underworld calling. The old minister used to preach about that. Little did he know, the place he spoke of was just under our town. That was the type of arrogance they were trading for their lives. Maybe at first I had been a pawn, a tool of the devil, used to spread fear. But that was before I knew that there was a way I could get out of hell. When I warned my people, the people of my town, they cast me aside, dug up my grave, did their best to banish me. Who's laughing now? I give them what they want. I'm giving them what they wanted. I'm leaving. They will stay. And hell and all its armies will rise from beneath them, led by the king of the underworld himself. My shoes leave the pavement and strike hard-packed dirt. The further I go, the more tangible the world seems. I can almost feel the wind at my face again. The scrapes and burns on my skin begin to heal, and I can feel the fragments of my soul snapping back into place. For the first time in a long time, I feel human, almost. So with this story, what I like is that we don't even realize the main character, like we say this is where they died, but technically only humans can die, so that was a little confusing because at the end I feel that there's a setup of they don't like they never were human is almost what I felt like at the end. But if I said feel human again, almost, then I feel like that would have tied in of like, okay, they were human, they died, and now they're leaving again. But I kind of like the idea that there is a for the afterlife in this world, like you can get out, you know, and I do like that you're not a complete human, but you're also not a ghost haunting either. The few things like imagery that I adored was what was it? Like the truculent old men.
Mm-hmm.
I always think of like angry old men like playing chess outside a general store and like just everything pisses them off. And these young kids these days don't know, you know. And so I kind of enjoyed that part. And then it was startling for me when I was reading to find out that they could see her. And then I was like, I thought she was haunting. Is she an apparition or something? And then to realize that everyone there is kind of like almost like Groundhog Ghost Day situation. The there wasn't anything like really that critique wise like to work on. It was just like I guess the closest was like my understanding of the main character. I did enjoy the imagery of the scrapes and burns my skin began to heal, and so that gave me, at first I thought by leaving she had scrapes and burns, but then I was thinking, no, if they're healing, then they were caused in the city. So it makes me think the city is hell. Like it was actually already overtaken if she already had scrapes and burns. So I guess that's the timeline of hell takeover is what I got tripped up over the most. But still, like the story, the imagery, and I think the truculent old man like was the best imagery for me out of all of it. And then of course I still like the scrapes and burns on the skin, and then like you feel like the soul snapping back into place, like those, like I kind of almost feel it in my gut, like a jolt and everything. And that it was great. I felt it. Instead of I have empathy for the character, I felt it.
The thing that you said that like I need to make an adjustment here is I want it to be clear that the character was human and they did die, but they're not human anymore, even though they're coming back. So that's the part that I want to emphasize.
Yeah.
So that it's not confusing. And I can definitely see where that would be. And I'm trying to think of how I would make it, because they're not exactly a ghost either.
Oh, they aren't. So it's like, okay, if we talk about, like, I think it's more like taking back what's mine. So your soul is supposed to be yours, but here in this town, her soul is tethered. It's like and maybe tethered makes it seem like tied to here, and which is probably a good word, but actually make it seem like put more imagery behind it of saying my soul is tethered to the devil. He's holding the leash or something like that. He's holding the leash of mine and everyone else's souls. And she's like, I want to take it back. And everything. Like it's this journey. And I say she, but the main character wants to take their soul back. And they will, like, they're going to pull like a dog on a leash. And I hate, but also like that imagery. But they pull, and then finally the devil lets go because it's not worth to hold on to that one and potentially lose the others. And so that's when she like feels it snap. And so you can still keep the imagery of the soul snapping back to her, the main character.
Love the realization that this place is in hell and the whole town is damned. And I would like more vivid description, unnaturalness of this place.
Yeah. Oh, like maybe there's like vents constantly or and stuff. And maybe what if like part of the people's being souls not really tied to them, they don't feel pain maybe. And so that's why there's scrapes and burns, but they never hurt before. And maybe while she's leaving, she starts to feel the pain. But once she keeps pushing further, they start to heal. Because healing, when something hurts, when you get hurt, it hurts also when it's being cleaned, and like it's a secondary hurt and stuff.
Yeah.
So you could still keep the pain going there. And I think this is really one of those, kind of like how I ran out of time. I think it's a time thing for you too.
Yeah.
You had like 370 words or something like that.
Yeah, and see, yeah, that's really good imagery that like I need to start to pull in more of the setting. I feel like usually I do a lot more world building, but I just didn't know where the story was going until I finished it, and then it was pretty.
And that's where I get so much enjoyment with this. Which, oh, by the way, remember a while back with your story. Hold on, wait. First, let me, instead of jumping, do you want to talk more about your story right now, or do you feel it's going to be mulling thing, is there any other part that you want us to flesh out?
No, I think that's good. I think what
Okay.
I'm getting from this is I need to do more setting and more of the background characters, what their experiences are or what their experiences appear to be,
Mm-hmm. And yeah,
to give the town more color.
okay, yeah. So, do you remember that story? Now changing gears. Where what the hell? Oh my God! Stop, phone. Just stop. Oh, that's my other notes. Where's the thing that I saw? Do I have it in here? So, remember the story that you wrote, and it was we had like dictation was one of the words, and it was like this. The way I took your story is like a retired teacher, like one-on-one training of how to speak,
Yeah.
and then I talked about how that could go further. And I swear I wrote it as a note on my phone. Yeah, I wrote it as a note on my phone, and I might actually be able to write that story. And I think it'll be one of those that I'll share on Ko-fi publicly. But I had, it was one of those late night things, and I was like, I need to write this out. And I titled it Payback.
Ooh, I like it. I like it.
So I just wanted to let you know that there is movement on that front. Yeah. You're done. Good job.
So
Go sit
now
down.
we have Mama Maggie here to share her story. I'm going to bring her in now.
Hello, lovelies. Good morning.
Good morning.
I think we'll do this similar to Critique Group Live, where we'll have you read it. Mm-hmm. And then, and actually, you know what? We're both on screen. Do you want to stay on screen as we talk about like likes and dislikes?
Sure. It's up to you. Mine's about 720 words. Like I said in the first part, I got sucked down my main character. Like I did the sketch in the draft, like Natalie does, and my main character was a botanist, and then I got sucked down this rabbit hole looking at how all of the different kinds of coffee plants look. It was just like, I was like, oh, okay. So, but I do have to tell everyone there is a slight trigger warning with this, for the death of a child. So tissues. You don't see it. It's only mentioned, but you're watching the mother sitting in the coffee shop where her daughter worked before her death.
Ooh, okay. Thank you for the trigger warning. Hopefully I still have enough tissues from Barrett's stream on Thursday.
Oh, that, my soul hurt that day.
I know. But the thing is, it resonated with everybody.
I haven't seen it yet. No spoilers.
Okay. It resonates with everybody.
You gotta watch it. Everyone.
And now you know, Chandra, have your tissues ready.
Have your tissues. Have your tissues.
Maggie, please take it away.
Are we ready?
Yes, ready.
All right. It's called Rubacea in the Rain. May your coffee be stronger than your teenage daughter's attitude. Staring at the placard standing in front of the Port Pond coffee shop with its brick bistro facade, Lainey made herself go inside instead of rubbing over her shoulder where the permanent pang of old wounds remained. Sitting at the table in the corner, she slid her foot back and forth on the century-old wooden floor. She could feel the groove in the planks. The smell of roasted beans in the ever-growling grinder and the steam hissing through the milk filled the shop with her daughter's favorite smell. It was the one thing Renee loved about her job, the smell of coffee mixed with the creamy scent of steamed frothed milk. Rubacea robusta for mornings and decaf Arabica for evening. Heavy caffeine versus no caffeine. the flavor of her daughter's life. The waitress was a friend of Renee's. "Hello, Miss Mosby. How was Brazil?" "Very warm, Tina. How was the weather since I left?" Lainey made her mouth smile. "The same gray every day. Your usual?" Her voice was cheerful, but Lainey could see the youthful pain in her eyes. "No, I'll have a Renee special today. Decaf, please," Lainey asked in a monotone voice. A Renee special was a surprise coffee, barista's choice. It had been Renee's idea when she worked here. "Yes, ma'am." Tina walked away as Lainey turned her attention to the traffic on Main Street in the small town square. Looking away from the park and glistening pavements, Lainey reached out and fingered the almost chocolate-colored leaves of the living Rubicea cococassia esculent in the window ledge, remembering how happy Renee was to bring the Kona coffee plant back from visiting her father on Kona Island in Hawaii. Renee's favorite place was the coffee plantation a quarter-mile from her father's house. Her favorite thing was walking among the Rubicea in the rain. It was very healthy, and Lanny's mind automatically cataloged the differences between the more common species of coffee instead of thinking about how truculent Renee was after the trip, especially when she found out her mother was dating a local widower and the father of a boy she hated. Lainey didn't know Renee's claim of Max being a stalker were not the angsty exaggerations of a teenage girl. If only she had known the truth about Malcolm's son. She never would have agreed to go camping in the wilderness, and she wouldn't be. Tina sat a unique square latte mug down. "Honey and flake pink salt latte. Decaf, of course. Enjoy." "Thank you." Lainey didn't look up as tears threatened. Awkwardly, Tina patted her shoulder. "I miss her too." "So, how was did the crossbreeding program go? The carrier coffee?" Sipping the flavor combination, Lainey almost started to explain that it was more complicated than that, but she didn't. Her most common critique from students who survived her botany classes was that she tended to preach instead of lecture. Her answer was simple. The coffee, Cariania, is the botanical name, known as carrier coffee. It went well. Renee would have approved of the flavor. Naturally decaffeinated organic coffee with good flavor is so hard to grow, but we're getting there. Lainey fumbled in her purse. "How much?" Tina chewed her lip for a moment, glancing toward the back. "Phil paid for it." I'm sorry, that should be Malcolm. "I'll pay for it." Her head jerked up as her neck twisted toward the back. Malcolm was looking at her with guilty eyes, begging her to ask him to join her. She shook her head slowly, then handed Tina a $20 bill as her jaw tightened. Then her voice raised over the sound of machines and murmur of the patrons. "Tell him, when I get a coffee with my daughter, only then can he pay for it." Silence, except for the hiss of the steam from the frothing wands on the machines, hung like thick fog, the thick fog that came in from the coast. Malcolm bowed his head. "I'm still sorry, Lainey, and I still love you." He turned and went out the old brick hall into the darkness. The rear door of the cafe opened, and he was a shadow against the gray morning for a moment before it closed. Lainey looked back at Renee's Rubicea Colocasia eculente in the window as her tears added to the saltiness of her latte while she sipped. clutching the square glass mug with trembling hands. The sounds of the coffee shop surrounded her once again. Renee's favorite place. Renee's favorite sounds and smells. Renee, Mommy misses you. The end.
Embarrassed word snaps. But I feel like even snaps are not like silence. It's more like
First of all,
yeah.
Malcolm needs to sit his happy ass down.
Yeah, I was sitting here going, why shouldn't Malcolm be in jail?
It was Max. It was the son Max who tried to.
Okay.
In my outline, Max tried to kill them all on a camping trip, and only Lanny and Malcolm survived.
Okay, makes sense. All right, and then Malcolm, of course, feels bad because his son.
His son.
Yeah. Okay, now it's starting to make sense. That's one of my feedback was that it was a lot of names and it was hard to keep track. It wasn't until the end that I realized Lainey, Tina, Malcolm, Renee, and then and Max. I forgot about Max. I put Malcolm and Max as one person. So that's my only critique. Everything else, like the imagery, like especially may your coffee be stronger than your teenager's attitude. I was like, oh, nice. But that resonated with me, and I liked how you were able to. You had 2 time periods going. You had her in the moment getting coffee, and then you had her mind going to a memory. And you brought it back to the coffee. Like that, I thought was pretty seamless. But like I said, my only like needs work part is the names, is because that was a lot of names, and for me.
Well, unfortunately, in the IRL, we're constantly surrounded by names, and in literature, it's like 3 names, and it's like if you only have 3 people's name in the IRL, it's bizarre.
Yeah,
well, and also
the Max and Malcolm.
Maybe I should change the son's name to something else.
I would.
Because it's only mentioned. His name is only mentioned, I think, twice.
Yeah,
or you don't even have to mention his name. Just say Malcolm's son or anything.
Yeah,
because maybe she doesn't even want to. He doesn't have a name to her anymore. Because and that's what we do in real life too. Like the barista would be like, oh, that's Renee's old friend. I can't remember her name, and her name tag's covered up or something like that. That was her curly hair.
Well, friend. she would. I picked Tina's name because I know Renee would remember her daughter's best friend's name.
Yes, true.
She would remember that name.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's certain names she'd remember, and I think she would remember Malcolm. And I think maybe there was like but like she chooses not to mention Max,
Malcolm's son,
or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think that could help. And here's an idea and everything, if you wanted to convey like the emotions and stuff and her feeling it, is that because this is already third person acute, what if you made it first person? Because then we could be in her head even more, and like her, she feel her fingers kind of tighten around her cup as she looks in the back, as if Malcolm's right there, like as he's walking up, she's like clenching her teeth, like she would have those sensations. Just a suggestion. Obviously, any critique we give, it's at the end of the day, it's your story, but it still moved me. I still got anger in the right places, and everything, and it definitely resonated. It's something I'm going to think about for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm making notes. I'm typing.
I like the voice and everything. I do agree. I mean, I picked up on the Max thing, but I think it is, especially for such a short story, it's if you can make it as clear as possible, as distinctive as possible, so that there's not any confusion about who's who, unless your intention is to create confusion about who is who. But I do, I think one thing that would be a little clear with the Max introduction is that Tina looks nervous or is a little anxious about doing this because she knows how Lainey feels about Malcolm and Max. She knows
More than
So-
just she chewed her lip before she answered.
yes, because it like even like a stammer, maybe a stutter, or like a nervous glance.
Like
Someone
right when Lainey walks in, and it's like, oh, because at that point, Tina already knows Malcolm's there. He's in the back or something,
Yeah.
or where.
Yeah, and
so she's already like.
And if it was my
Maybe
best friend's mom, I would be feeling protective. I would be feeling maybe a little anxious because this is my job, so I can't just yeet the guy out the door. But I also don't want him interacting. Like I'm like, you have no right to be here. You have no right to try to interact with her at all. You have no right. So some way of kind of conveying that. Otherwise, the relationship between Lainey and Tina seems a little bit more distant. And then I can definitely see Natalie's feedback of like, why does she know this person's name? Whereas there's a little more, creating a little more of a relationship between them.
Like maybe it's Tina's idea for Lainey to sit on the balcony, on the patio, because she's trying to create that distance. Like Tina offers that and goes, you know what? It's a little crowded. And maybe Lainey's looking around and it's like, stop coming inside.
Or what if Tina says, do you want to sit by Renee's coffee plant?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. It shows like that connection. Yeah, that I like that.
Yeah, because at first I was a little confused about like why they were so familiar, but I think showing their connection, even if it's not exactly a friendship, there is a connection there.
Yeah, it's togetherness, a camaraderie.
Camaraderie.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
I think the voices and everything are clear. I think it's and of course, I mean, you did all of this in 30 minutes. So
I mean, the fact that you got like double the amount of words Chandra and I did, and you have so much emotion, is like
I word
not
vomited. It was like,
but it came to you. It was like, hey, write about me. This is what's happening. And you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna listen to the muses.
But yeah, I think it's good.
You have the emotion, you have the voice, you have the everything. It's just like kind of like with some of my stories and some of Chandra's stories, it was just like the story in my head wasn't conveying correctly on the paper, like and the reader wasn't able to follow what I had because I accidentally left out a few things. Yeah.
My thing is I was like, ooh, look at all the different kinds of coffee plants, and they look so different. And some have light green leaves and peach colored berries, and some have dark green leaves and holly colored berries, and some,
oh my gosh.
and some have like I did not know this, but the what is it? Carolocida esculenta, the Kona coffee actually has almost a chocolate brown leaf with a burgundy berry. And I was like,
you're painting like a cover page, like or a cover art or something for me right now, where I'm just thinking of like all these leaves. Like I would want this printed in color, or if it was a short story compilation, I need a color page before the story starts.
Yeah.
Well, I need to go back and rewatch Original Sin. That's all I got out of it. All right.
Thank you for reading.
Thank you for having me.
This was great. I loved hearing your story, and you were so receptive to the feedback we had. I appreciate it so much, and I love your stories every time.
Constructive, good feedback is a very valuable commodity, and it's never a personal attack. People should never take criticism personally unless the criticism is worded specifically to be a personal attack. So thank you very much for having me. Thank you for the feedback, and be blessed. Have a lovely day.
You as well. Thank you for coming on. Okie doke. I think we're ready to set
for
up
the next prompt.
Yep.
All right, so we got number 1 through 60 with the corresponding letter A through Z.
Mm-hmm. And let me start taking some notes so I can get this jotted down for us.
Yeah, and I can write it down on my page too. Oh, by the way, in other news, I have written over 20,500 words since like September 23rd.
Oh, yeah?
Just in flash fictions. It's not just these flash fictions or our bonus flash fictions, but also any flash fictions I've done just like on the side. And it made me think that like
C10?
C10, perfect. All right. It made me think of Milwordy, where I was doing it by day, and I'm like, what if I tracked everything by like task instead of by day?
Oh, that's interesting.
All right, C10 is dog.
Thank you, Maggie.
Appreciate you coming on, dear. I loved it. No, you can't press it, sweetie. Because I'm not ready for you to put me on mute.
He really just said, stop talking. F13.
F13. Well, here's the funny thing in that situation. So I said, no, Spencer, you can't put me on mute. F13 is faux, F-A-U-X. And I told my son, I'm not ready for you to put me on mute. Whereas my husband, who got back from the gym, just said, I am, from the peanut gallery. So there's that. All right. So we got 2 and we need 10.
B60.
D60.
B.
Oh, B, Bravo.
Mm-hmm.
Bravo 60. Oh, up, left, or right? Because that one's taken. Up.
Mm-hmm.
Air. Hair. Like H-E-I-R. Air. I don't even.
Hi, Stephanie. How are you? You made it just in time. We're prepping for our. Actually, let me update the banners for this. But we're prepping for our next round of
the next writing prompt.
That one.
Our powers combined.
We're doing it. Okay, let's see where we are. Oh, we're numbers, a number letter combination, A through Z, and numbers 1 through 60. We got an S38.
We got a what?
S38.
All right, Sierra 38. Where? Down. Come on. 38. Crackle. C-R-A-C-K-L-E.
What do you think? W39.
W39. Where's my W? Casserole.
We got W24.
W24. Lemon.
We need 4 more.
Yeah.
X5.
X5. Come on. Develop. Okay.
3 more.
Yeah.
You haven't picked one yet.
I'm thinking 27 R.
27.
Try to think. 27R, hopefully. Oh, good. Pink. I try not to look at the screen when I'm picking this. I see, did we do K9?
Oh, no, we didn't. K9.
K9. Up. Up or down?
And you gotta pick either up or down, and because K9 has already been used.
Yep.
Let's see.
We just need 2 more.
B53.
Bravo 53
Mm-hmm.
is Feeler. Feeler.
We need one more. We are just waiting for that up or down for K9. Ooh, Stephanie started drafting next novel, and somehow the kids are still sleeping. Knock on wood for that.
Ooh. Keep that going.
Down.
Down. So going down, the word is glob. Glob.
This is gonna be an interesting one.
All right. So now, chat, pick a number between 1 and 82 for our prompt.
First number wins. 69 has already been taken. Thank you for trying.
Yes.
Oh no, you're good. 44.
Okay, we just need 44. So 44 is one too many.
That's the prompt is one too many.
One too many. All right.
All right. So the prompt is one too many.
Writing challenge?
Oh yeah. What is our challenge? I'm gonna put this in the chat.
All right. We got here. Just give me a number between 1 and 10, and I'm gonna count at the free ones down, so that way I'm not calling out a lot. Or actually, no, we can go. Hold on. Write all characters as animals. Write a horror or happy, whichever is opposite normal for you. Choose a POV that you've never written in. Recognizing sensitivity readers will help later. Remove sight or sound from all the characters. Set during a historical event.
Sight and sound, or sight or sound?
Sight or sound.
Ooh, I like that one.
That one?
Mm-hmm. Well, welcome, and thank you for jumping in there and helping us choose our challenge, or not our challenge words, but our prompt words. We appreciate it.
100%. All right.
I'm also going to drop this in the private chat so you don't have to retype it.
Thank you, dear.
I have 5 tunes. Sorry. Sorry. I was like, anyway, don't mind me. I'm just out here living my best life with me and my chins. Thank you, ma'am. I have not had coffee today.
But congratulations.
All I can think of right now are a bunch of dogs who can bark that are way too drunk in a room, so all they see are each other looking like idiots while not hearing a sound. Please write that.
Oh my God.
Funny.
That'd be hilarious. All right. So I'm going to go to the private chat, copy and paste. I mean, with one too many, that kind of makes sense. All right, there we go. Oh, God, I'm getting hungry. Close to lunch.
Same scenes.
All right.
Are we ready?
Yep, I am ready, my dear.
Okey-doke. Let me grab our timer. We're going to start off again with our 30-minute timer.
Mm-hmm.
And let me share screen.
Hey, Devin hasn't had coffee either, so doing good.
Devin, how do you do all that you do without coffee? Or is that just a special?
I don't have coffee any day, but I do have caffeine through green tea today.
Fair.
So
I let's see. I might be on my 6th cup of coffee for today. You're doing the coffee for the both of us, and I feel the energy coming through. I appreciate you. I don't keep count. I mean, some things are just better not to know.
Yeah.
I haven't
All
had
right.
coffee all week. Today is definitely a coffee day. Big move. Okie doke. Here we go.
Let's do this.
You know what I need to do? Last thing before we get, we'll go ahead and get started, and I'm going to update the prompt on the screen. We'll begin
All right.
in 3, 2, and 1. 2 seconds. I just need 2 seconds.
Me
Hi, Colin.
too.
I just need 2 seconds.
I'm trying to think of a word.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, y'all, I'm almost done.
Me too. I'm trying to add faux at the very end, and then I gotta.
I'm just checking to make sure I got all the words. 3.
I got one more word to get.
9. Dobby, put it. Develop. Pink. Feeler. Blob. Casserole. Crackle. Air. Where is that? Here we go. Air. I got it. Okay, I didn't get to edit all of it. I got 438 words Dobby, that I'm sending to you now. No, because what you're going to do is you're going to pretend that you're nice and you're not, and then you're going to try to eat something that you're not supposed to. A faux ending. Colin, this is, as always, brilliant. If anyone would like a mildly misbehaving orange tabby cat, we'll be auctioning him off. I'm just kidding. You can't have him. You can borrow him. You can pet sit for me.
I love pet sitting because you can always give them back. Just like babysitting. Oh, God.
Stop it. You're being rude.
Okay. I'm copying. I wrote 631 words, which is funny because I sat here.
Smokes.
I sat here and I was like, I don't know what to write. I have no clue what to write. And then it came. I started setting the scene and stuff like that. All right, let me get to my email. I'm just going to reply back from the one you sent.
Stop it. Out. Claws. Out. Claws.
I'd like to see that. All right, come on. All inboxes. I don't have your email yet. Well, let me try something.
I think I just sent it. Look at him. He's so mad at me. He's purring, though.
Yeah.
He says he's mad, but he's not too
All right, I'm replying to the last email you sent.
Okay.
I'm pasting my story in there. Did I paste it? Did I not copy it?
Whoops.
All right.
No space.
There we go. I feel I did pretty good with my descriptions. So out of curiosity, did you remove sight or sound?
I removed sight.
I did too. We'll see how we did this. It made it interesting on pink.
I feel like I did pretty good. I mean, I feel like I need the chat. You all have to decide if I was successful
Yes.
or not.
Likewise.
Because I don't know. I was writing it. I'm like, I don't know. This is the way I'm doing it, but
yeah. Dogs, really?
Mm-hmm.
God, they're so noisy.
Yes, really. Dobby, really. So his problem is now that he knows exactly what's going to happen, and instead of just going peacefully, he decides that he's going to put up a fight, and he latches onto everything he can with his claws so that he doesn't get put down again.
I don't have your email yet, by the way, dear.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Seriously? I responded to yours last week.
I responded to yours. Mine starts out with I get to be a sous chef or something like that.
Mine starts out with one too many.
Okay. Yeah, I still don't see yours.
Did I send it?
Out.
I've got yours.
Yeah, I just sent mine. So at least you got mine. Okay. Now I just got to get yours. I'm refreshing every now and then and it's not sent. And I think you sent yours before I sent mine.
Yep.
You want to try again?
Yeah, I'm gonna try sending it again. Let me copy this over. Dobby, if you don't quit it. Look at him. Now he's pretending to be good.
Mm-hmm. Just
Look at-
cuddle.
He's sitting in my lap.
Halfway.
Thinks he's a little human person boy. I'm not fooled by you.
So in the chat, Sinkei said that they got 1,230 words, but the overall story is kind of shitty. The first draft is supposed to be. It's okay.
Yes, true facts.
Yeah.
Hey, see, that's why you can't be up here.
This is why we can't have nice things.
He just looked at me with defiance. He's like, "Why?" No, because he'll sit there and he'll grab my pen and he'll chew on it, and of course it's got the ink cartridge.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "But why?" It's a great question, Dobby.
All right. Let me see if the email came through.
I tried again.
No. Did you just reply to the last email I sent?
I forwarded it. No, leave me alone. Out. Leave alone.
What is wrong? Why can I send you an email, but I can't get an email from you?
It says it went. It is in my outbox.
All right. Let me check. I'm checking my junk folder too, just in case.
But it that doesn't even make sense though, because we email each other all the time.
We do. Like, why would now be an issue? It's not in my junk folder. It's not
Let me
in
send
my
it to you
inbox.
on Instagram.
Okay.
Oh, here, let me do this.
I'm gonna pull up Instagram.
I'm gonna add it. I'm gonna share it to you on Google Docs.
There we go. That's what Colin and I ended up having to do last week. And then I can read.
He's getting irritated with me. It's like, dude, I'm already irritated with you. I don't want to hear it. I gave you the dog's chair. What more do you want from me?
All right.
Send help. I'm gonna just. This is my. There's no space for you here.
Full on. Seats taken.
You really don't care. He'll be like, oh, well, I guess I'll just have to cling to you with my claws for dear life.
So did you send it in Instagram yet?
Mm-mm. I have it on Instagram too. Share.
Hey, guess what email just came through?
Stop it. Technologies.
That was hilarious. Okay, why is it like I'm the overwriter now and you're the underwriter when that was not the case in the beginning?
How come there's... Did I copy this twice or did you write that much?
I wrote like over 600 words.
Dowdy, quit it. You're going to fall. That is not a place for you. I swear, he's going to break my back one day.
Mm-hmm. All right, you ready for the 10-minute timer to read?
Yeah, I'm just making sure I have everything correctly.
Yeah, the last line was an error to have all my recipes, by the way.
Okay.
Got that, we're good.
I have somehow managed to copy this twice.
Oh, okay.
How did I do that? Let me just make sure I've got it correctly.
Right.
Okay.
and
What
that's
is
what
the
we'll
first line?
The first line is something about a sous chef.
Okay.
There's sous chef in the first line. I know that much.
Okay, got that. And then I'm trying to like scroll down to find all of it without reading it to make sure I've got the right stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, y'all.
Technology. We gotta make sure we're good. All right.
I don't know why it did that, but it copied it twice. Ruh-roh. Y'all, it is definitely Mercury retrograde. A 100%. I think it did it again, too. Yeah, because it's saying that there's 2,524 words, and that can't be right. It copied it 4 times. How is that possible? That don't even make no sense. Here we go. Welcome back.
Don't
Did you
know
hear
what
what I
happened.
said?
All I heard was 4 times. How is that possible? But yeah, what happened was I was saving my stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and then the entire just screen went black, and then it opened up to my like home screen, and instead of letting me use my thumb to scan in, it was like, no, type the password in. It's like, so
Cool, awesome. Not like I was trying to do anything.
yeah, no big deal. But hey, the thing saved. I was able to tell it, hey, restore my last website that I was at. So we're there.
It copied your story, and when I like copy pasted it over so I could read it, it copied it 4 times.
Yeah, God.
Copied it. Don't at me. I can't.
Not
Let me
today.
get this timer pulled up, and then we're gonna go.
And see who's done first. And then we'll just go ahead and say, since you read mine first last time, I'll read yours first this time.
Okay. Okie doke. There we go. Go. Okay. 10 minutes. I love technology. Okay. Here we go. Right now. Okie doke, y'all. That was round 2.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to go ahead and start reading your story because I want to. It's
Okie doke.
Hey. All right. The words from the speech echo in my ears along with the ringing silence. My faux fur coat is poor protection from the damp, and now that it is soaked through, it's begun to smell more like a wet dog. A glob of something cold and wet falls on the back of my neck, but I don't scream. I'm too afraid I'll get something in my mouth. I can't see them, but I know they're there. Spiders. I can't see them, but I know there are spiders. Spiders, crickets, roaches. I gag at the thought of an insect in my mouth. In some places, people eat crickets for protein. All I can imagine is the feelers getting stuck between my teeth, tickling my mouth, rasping against my lips as it tries to find safety from my gnashing teeth. I gag again. I miss home. The crackle of the wood fire, hot showers, a warm bed, a full stomach, and Thursday night casserole with lemon bars for dessert. Sometimes, in the dark, I can pull the image into my mind, but it's been dark for so long. I try to imagine my pink room, fluffy floral duvet, and white walls, but I can't quite remember what it looks like. This is why I can't let my mind go there. I start trying to remember the feel of hot soup, the taste of coffee, the warmth of the sun on my face. I wipe the tears away with the back of my dirt-caked hand. I could make myself sick with crying. I don't know how long I've been down here. They tell me it will be forever, or till I die. I just wish one or the other would get here quicker. Maybe if I'm lucky, I'll go insane. One too many. I can't believe I helped write and develop that speech. How was it ever okay that any girls or women had been kidnapped? The speeches I had written hadn't helped. They made things worse, made people angrier. The kidnapper had an heir to his kingdom. Someone who would carry on after he was gone. There would be no leaving this black hole. I would spend the rest of my life with cold dirt walls and floors as my company, trying to remember what color it was. I patted my hands across the floor, feeling the damp straw that made up my bed. Something small and furry scurried across my hands, tiny toenails digging into my skin. This might actually be worse than being alone. I touched my dirty hand to my face and slowly pulled it away. But even knowing it wasn't there, I couldn't see it. So the questions that I'm left with, but I think you did this on purpose, is the speeches. I want to know what the speeches were. It sounds like this person is a political captive, almost, even though kingdom is in air quotes. I do imagine that the kidnapper is somebody who gave these speeches that this person was a speechwriter for, and they have like some type of following, whether it's they're like even just a city council person or something like that. And maybe this person has kidnapped many others, which makes me wonder why our main character is alone in the dark, because it seems like there's other women and girls who have been kidnapped and will be possibly. I even though it's in past tense here, I imagine there's going to be more just because this person hasn't left yet. And the whole situation is just definitely dark and scary. But that's the only question I have. Is like, well, what was the speech? So the next thing that I definitely like is, and it stood out to me, is the the symbolism, not the symbolism, the imagery that comes with something small and furry scurried across my hand, tiny toenails digging into my skin. This might actually be worse than being alone. And it makes me think of people don't have a fear of the dark. People have a fear of they're not alone in the dark. But that's what it made me think of. But also with the tiny toenails digging in my skin, I've had pets. I had a chinchilla. I've had hamsters and stuff like that. I know what that feels like. And if you're not expecting it because it's not cute and cuddly, it's jarring. So that I think was like great imagery, not just feel but just the feeling that you get internally from that feel. Oh, dear Lord. Okay, back to this. But you did really good on the so now the question is, was my assumption of like what I took of what this person is that what you were trying to convey?
Yes, exactly what I was trying to convey. So I'm very happy with this one.
Yay! All right.
Honestly, I know it needs another once over as far as editing to make sure all the words are like spelled correctly and all that stuff. But as far as what it conveys, I don't have anything that I want to change about it.
Yeah. Wait, for mine
expecting to
or
write
yours?
more. For mine.
Yeah, for yours. No, yours. Like if I understood exactly what you're conveying here, then there should be nothing. It's just a once over, honestly. Like I didn't get confused with this at all and everything. There was the first time when I read, she was saying trying to where was it? I say she. I always do this. I put gender too. But it's because I'm a she. I identify as she and I'm reading. So therefore the first person is whatever I am. Where was it? It was talking about like, I would spend the rest of my life with cold dirt walls and floors as my company, trying to remember what color was. And I was trying to think, and when I first read that, I read it as trying to remember what the color was. And I was like, well, she's in pitch black. Like, how could she remember what color was? And I was like, no, remember what color, not the color of the walls and the floor, but color as a whole. Oh, and also the imagery of the hand in front of the face. I've been to caves and where like they turn out the lights completely in the cave. Pure pitch black. Like I know it's here. I feel my fingers do this, but I can't see it at all.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely. Yeah, good. Excellent. Bravo.
Yes. This is what I had in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okie doke. Time to read your story. I really like this one. BT dubs.
You like my old frilly stuff.
I do. It's like we're doing a 180 here. Alright. Today I got to be sous chef and learn my grandmother's casserole recipe. She helps me navigate in her kitchen, letting me send out feelers of where everything is before we begin and actually turn on the heat. I grab the lemons, top shelf, far left side, and the green apples to the right of them, she instructed. I enter the pantry and let my fingers run along the walls until I hit the step stool. Using it, I'm able to reach the top shelf and grab 2 fruits, one smooth, one bumpier. Here's a lemon and a green apple, Granny, I say as I come back into the kitchen and set them on the counter in front of her. I hear her inhale. Lemon, she says. She inhales again. Nope, red apple. Go back and get the green. She reaches for my hand and places the smooth fruit in it. How do you know it is red instead of green? I ask. Green apples smell like pink, she says, matter of fact. Glassware reverberates as she sets it on the counter. I shrug and go back to the pantry. I smell the apple in my hand. It smells sweet. I climb up to the top shelf again and reach for another smooth fruit. I smell this one and immediately pull it away. It smells sharp and pointed, very crisp, like a cold morning. I smile, hoping to develop a sense of smell like my grandmother. I got the green apple, I say. Granny inhales and pats me on the shoulder, then again on top of my head. Granny cuts each of the fruit, not ready for me to try my hand. The ingredients squish as she stirs them. Ready to mix, she asks. Definitely. I reach out to the bowl in front of her. She places my right hand on the side of the bowl and my left around the spoon. This is folding, more than stirring. We're trying to create a glob of batter to dump into the pan, she says, as she moves my spoon hand in the pattern. After 2 passes, she lets go, allowing me to go alone. Is it getting harder to fold? She asks a few minutes later. Yes, I've already switched arms, I say, pausing to shake my left hand. Let's put it in the pan and into the oven. She clapped her hands together, startling me. The glass slides across the counter, the unseen dirt grinding beneath. Granny grunts and then a blop sound lets me know the batter is in the pan. Granny places the utensils in my hand. This is a spatula. Keep it level like this to use to level the batter, she says. I extend my arm out and lower it slightly until I collide with where the casserole begins. I keep one hand on the pan to keep me steady. Bag crackles. Now we need to add a crunch to the top and then get this in the oven, Granny says as she pushes me back gently. The next part is still confusing, but the dog came into the kitchen, their nails echoing on the floor. One must have bumped into Granny because I hear her say, "Hey," to them, and then lots of little clicks happen at once. I felt something land on my hair at the same time. I crabbed the hard twist. What's this? I asked. Granny reaches her hand out and felt my hand for the foreign object. Well, with as many chefs in the kitchen, that is now a dog snack. When on top of the casserole, it is a faux meat chips. I joined Granny in laughter. Granny patted my shoulder and says, "You're officially an heir to have all my recipes." I got a little twisted up on some of the words, and I'm thinking it's just
I need to edit
typos.
those. Yeah. Like crabbed was supposed to be grabbed.
Okay, that's what I thought. What is a hard twist?
I was just thinking something hard that's twisted, but it's tiny and stuff.
Okay. And then I thought they were making like an apple crisp casserole.
I didn't even know what they were making. I just started throwing things together. This is why I'm not allowed to cook.
That's why I was confused about why there would be meat on top of the apple crisp casserole. So that part I was confused about, but also I'm not sure that they're human.
Oh. I actually like that idea.
Because even though they have a dog, I don't know, just the way that they come across to me, I didn't think they were human.
I'm gonna have to flesh that one out more.
Yeah,
I like that mindset.
But also, if they're not human, then what they're making, the recipe doesn't need to change. Because we don't know. Although I have to say, candied bacon on an apple crisp may not be terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, y'all. Neither of us cook, so
yeah.
You'll have to let us know. But I mean, chocolate bacon is good, and you eat bacon with your breakfast, and you get those. Oh, now I want those apples, stewed apples. I really want that now.
Yeah. I was just proud of myself because I was like, what would the color pink smell like? That was my happy part.
Yeah. I was like, ooh, I don't know.
Yeah, and even though I was like, I got a green apple, saying it smelled like pink was fun.
Yeah.
Because when I think of pink lemonade. But since I already had lemons, I was like, well, what would pink be like? And I went from there.
I missed these comments from Maggie.
I know. I was reading them.
I would like to feel her horror of having to eventually eat the bugs she hates to live, and she is warring with the bias that she would rather starve. Ooh.
Well, that's the thing. I would think she would starve herself.
Quite possibly.
Honestly.
Another thing, she can make the other more tactile by saying she doesn't want to hold the bony hand of the previous tenant. Then later, I wonder if they ate my roommate after she died or before. Ooh.
And thanks for the nod, Colin. Yes, there's a reason we both don't cook.
True facts.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I can go off a recipe, but if you want me to create something new, like I watch Chopped or something, and I'm just like, I got no clue.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you give me Frosted Flakes, I'm gonna make a bowl of cereal. I'm not gonna make a like pan fried fish fillet thing or whatever. Yeah, it's not happening.
Yeah, no. I mean, there's a couple things that I make, but it's like stuff that I've seen made before.
Yeah.
Like I have a vague idea of what I'm doing.
Yeah, like I make some killer brownies, but it's the box brownies, but then I modify it a little bit more and stuff.
Right, like I can do stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm not the one to create a recipe from scratch.
No, I will not do it from scratch. Though actually most people from scratch, what they do is they're familiar with so many types of recipes that they're able to modify it.
That's true. That is true.
Oh my god, I just got your second email for the document just now.
I don't know what that was all about. Happy Mercury retrograde, I guess.
Yeah. But no, I definitely enjoyed our stories today, and I enjoyed Maggie's story and everything. Like, I feel the areas needing work. Like, apparently with me, I think maybe one time. Oh, and you know what we could do is on for Flash Fiction February, which we need to air the second teaser thing on IG. I'll probably do that after we get off here. But on the 12-hour stream, we could do a Shiza, what is it called? We could do a one where we don't set a time limit for the sprint. Like, I mean, we have the sprint where it could like we could schedule it for 40 minutes or something, but it's like, nope, we're gonna, since every time I write urban fantasy, everyone's like, I want more. Let's see what happens with more.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah,
I like that
just
a lot.
Give more time, so we'll do that. I don't know. I enjoyed today. This was good.
I did too. I feel like we had really good stories, and even with, because I think the prompts, like which one was it? The first one
on Main Street in a small town.
Yeah, that wasn't like, the words with that were different, and then even with this last one and the challenge, the words were they're like not things that I would put together.
Yeah. And I think that's why I like these 10 words over like other writing prompts, is because the creativity and then learning new words like what was the truculent or truculent? That one. Remember being bacon, correcting the recipe immediately. Candied bacon is better on a peach crisp apple. Well, I was trying to go use faux, and I was like, what would be the faux? And I was like, faux onion rings? No.
That
I was like faux onion, I don't know. Crisp.
I mean, this cracks me up though, but it just shows how much we don't.
I knew onions wouldn't work well.
Unless they're not human.
True. If they're not human, then I could have put, instead of faux meat, I could say faux human or something like that. Then it's like, wait a second.
This is true.
So right now,
then it goes from being like a cozy short story to like wait,
full on sci-fi.
Like a fantasy horror.
Maybe. Oh man, it depends. Well, it all depends on the perspective, because sci-fi can be horror, and sci-fi can also be a fantasy and entertaining.
True.
Yeah.
True facts.
I know for me, it took forever just trying to figure out what I was going to write about. I was like, one too many what? And I was like, what's happening? And I was like, a kitchen, too many chefs. And I just went from there. I have written 21,599 words in flash fictions alone.
That's crazy.
September.
Also, I'm counting all of this together because I was like reading your stuff. So I was beta reading. I'm counting all of this as words for Milwordy.
Oh, smart. Downside though, being flash fiction is and you also need to count Maggie's too.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, and that was like 700 something. But they definitely need to. The downside of flash fiction though is that it's like not even 1,000 a day for me.
Fair, but I mean, between the two of us, these two pieces, and then Maggie, that would put me at 2,600 words for the day.
Oh. And that's pretty good for 3 hours. Well, a little over 3 hours, but yeah.
So, and then I have my words from my class and everything. So, yeah, I think we're doing good.
Yeah. Well, thank you everybody for coming. Like, this was fun as always.
This was so fun. And you know, if you wrote stories that you didn't want read live, you can still send them to us. We just like to see them.
Yep.
We do have a good time.
We got each other's emails, so we can, like, if you send it to one of us, we can send it to the other, being like, hey, here's my feedback. You can add yours at the bottom, and then we can get it back to you.
Yeah, for sure. So with that, I think we're gonna wrap it up.
Yep.
Because we need to eat foods and stuff.
Yeah, I'm hungry. My stomach was, I've been talking myself off a ledge since 9:30. So I try not to eat too early. So well, I'm Natalie Locke. This Flash Fiction Live will be on my channel next week at 9 a.m. on Saturday. And I got 2 Flash Fictions coming out on Sunday and Wednesdays are my usual days. And then we have Flash Fiction February, which I think I'll just do a video a week then outside the lives.
And we will be kicking that off. So keep an eye out for that because it will not be at our usual time. So if you have been wanting to get here for the whole shebang, keep an eye out for that because we will be changing up the time and you'll definitely have an opportunity to jump on in there with us.
Yep.
So
absolutely fun. Especially for that 12-hour stream. We'll still have Flash Fiction Lives, but it's already picked out the video. And so on Instagram each day, what we say 9 o'clock is when each prompt will be posted on our IG. So you can join in with us.
Do it.
But it's totally worth it.
Yes. Don't forget to follow Natalie. All of her links are below in the description. My name is Chandra Arthur. I write science fiction, fantasy, and historical fiction. I also do flash fiction with Natalie with our Flash Fiction Live. And then we have Flash Fiction February coming up. So don't forget to join in there. And we will see you next time on Natalie's channel. Yep. Devin has also put more streams in the link.
Yeah.
Click the link. Do the things. Get the productivity. And with that, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Maybe.